I've been getting asked, what does it cost to go to Applecross? And that's a difficult question to answer, i.e. predict what it would cost you to go. But I can tell you what it cost me based on a recent trip up north for a 1 overnight stay at Applecross, travel up, stay over, travel back. I'll include everything I spent, you know, food, fuel, accommodation, and I'll also talk you through the route and the places that I stopped at along the way. This is the first leg of our journey, meeting at Dumbarton for coffee and fuel, which also is the starting of the spending. Fuel was £25 as I pretty much had to fill up the bike, and coffee was £3.50. A bit expensive. Here's a nice selfie of me enjoying said coffee. Right, ready to go. We're heading north up through Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park, up through Crane Larroch, Tyndrum, Bridge of Orchy, heading through Glencoe, which is just beautiful even on a rubbish day. And our next stop is lunch. For lunch we stopped at a little place called Crafts and Things. That is a cafe gift shop just in the very edge of Glencoe before heading out for Fort William. For lunch I had beans and toast and a coffee, and that cost £7.69. Fed and watered, time to hit the road again, and the next stop is Fort William for a top up of fuel, and brings us to our next cost, which is £13.20. Topped up with fuel, we're on the move again, heading through Spain Bridge where we'll turn left for Invergarry. At Invergarry we're going to turn left again, heading out past Loch Cluny towards Glen Shiel for our next stop. That Invergarry to Glen Shiel is one of my favourite roads. It's a beautiful place. I even done a video on that, and you'll be able to catch that in my favourite roads playlist. Our next stop along the way is Glen Shiels. There's a little coffee shop called Chocolates of Glen Shiel, and that is one of our favourite stops along the way. Coffee's fantastic. It's a cosy little place, and they also make their own chocolates on site. Staff are also really nice as well, so it's definitely worth a stop. There we get a little break, have a coffee and pick up some chocolate. It's just one of those things you have to do. Coffee was £3.50 and the chocolate, which is an optional spend, was £10 for 2 bars, but definitely worth it. Point of interest, Glen Shiel, it wasn't always a coffee shop. It used to be a petrol station, then it became a gift shop / second hand shop, and then was bought over again in about 2021 and is now the coffee shop that we love. Leaving Glen Shiel behind, we are now passing through Inverness in Dorney, heading for Strathcarron, where we always have a stop in at Loch Carron. Now we always stop there, especially heading to Applecross, because it's pretty much the last decent phone signal you'll get. Not so bad if you're heading to Kyle or Loch Alsh, because it's a bigger, more serviced area. There's also a shop for any essentials that you might need to pick up along the way, and there's a public toilet which is a little bit smelly, a little bit grim, but it's free to use, and if needs must, then needs must. And while we're there we'll pick up some fuel, and that brings me on to my next cost, which was £10.63. You can also get fuel at Inverness or up at Applecross itself, but while we're there we have a little top up and then that sees us through. Having topped up with fuel and made our phone calls, we're now heading for Applecross. The road out of Loch Carron heading through Tornapress up to Ballycnaba is tight, twisty and nadgery. Single lane, lots of passing places, and you will need to pull over and give way at some point, so just take your time there. And once you're through that, it kind of opens up a little bit, and then we're turning left onto the Ballycnaba. Now if you haven't been on this road before, check out, after this video you can check out a video that I made previously showing the whole road from start to finish. And if you've been on it before, you know exactly what I'm going to say. It's tight, twisty, nadgery. Some of the surface is terrible, although they have started resurfacing quite a bit of it, and I think the view there is within the next few years is to pretty much have it all done. For me, the road itself is a means to an end, but the views and the scenery make it all worthwhile. Now we're into how much it costs, or how much it cost me to stay in Applecross. Now, Applecross, you can make it as cheap as you can possibly make it, or you can spend whatever you're happy spending. So from, say, like a £55 a night for stay to almost £300 a night. So for example, the inn is about £200 a night, and some of the B&Bs and holiday lets can be about £300 a night. For us, we stay in the glamping pods, or hobbit huts as we call them. They are £55 per night. They sleep 4, they have a light, a socket, a heater, and there's waterproof mattresses. They're very basic, but it helps keep the cost down. We, because we've been doing this for such a long time, get a pod to ourselves, because it's much quiet. When your gear's wet, it gives you space to hang stuff up and air it out. When there's 3 or 4 of you, or even 2 sharing, it can be a little cramped. So for the stay, it's £55 each for the night, and then it's down to either the Walled Garden or the Applecross Inn for dinner. Last time we went to the Applecross Inn, and that comes to our next cost, and that was dinner and drinks, £40, including a little bit of a tip. The views and the sunsets at Applecross are absolutely amazing. It's a lot of people go there kind of hill walking, camping, but for us, we literally go for the run, stay over, dinner, a couple of drinks, and enjoy it, because it's quiet, it's dark skies. So if you like that stargazing kind of thing, that's definitely going to be up your street. Having been well fed and refreshed, and having had a great night's sleep, it's time to get back on the bikes. And since we get fuel the day before at Loch Carron, we can just hit the road and get on our way without faffing about for fuel. Heading home, we are pretty much retracing our steps, aiming for Spain Bridge, with a little stop at Loch Garry for fuel, and that top up there will see us all the way home. So fuel there was £11.64. After fuel, it's a quick run into Spain Bridge, where we stop off at the Bridge Cafe, and it's quite nice. It's been there for a long time. It got taken over, I don't know, maybe about kind of 4 or 5 years ago, I think. For lunch, I had a ham toastie and a coffee, and that cost £10. Quite expensive for what it is, but nice nonetheless. After that, we're heading straight down the road, with one more stop at the Green Welly at Cranelarroch, and that's for a comfort break and a stretch of legs before making the final run back to Glasgow. So that's the route we take, the places we stop at, and what it cost for that particular trip to Applecross. And hopefully you've been tallying up along the way, but if not to worry. Our totals are fuel £60.47, food and drinks, including the optional bar of chocolate that we bought, that was £74.69. The overnight stay was £55 exactly, which brings us to £190.16. Not the cheapest weekend, but not the most expensive weekend you could have. All in all, still very much worth going. Here's a few things that I've learned over the years of going back and forth to Applecross. A few hints and tips, if you like, in no particular order. Number 1, carry one of these, a side stand puck, because you never know what the surface is going to be like to park on, and the last thing you want is the bike sinking into the ground and you wake up in the morning and it's on its side. and having forgotten these a few times and having to search for a stone or a bit of wood, these now live permanently in my luggage and I'm never go without one. Next is always plan ahead. And what I mean by that is make sure that the places that you want to stop at or have lunch at are in fact open, and that includes going for dinner as well. Not everywhere opens every day, and sometimes they're open short hours, so you want to make sure that they're going to be open on the days and the times that you're travelling. And on the same point, book ahead. If you want to eat somewhere for dinner, phone and book a table in advance. Very few places now take walk-ins. Next on the list is take cash. Pretty much everywhere now is contactless payment and payment via phone. However, the further north you go, you can, and I've experienced running into issues where your card machines don't work or there's a connection issue, so therefore they want you to pay in cash, and not everywhere you'll stop at has an auto teller or a bank machine, and some places still operate purely on cash alone, so don't just rely on your bank card. Next tip is plan your fuel stops, and the reason I'm saying that is the further north you go, the more chance you can run into places either not having fuel or the pumps not working, or even the card machines not working, and therefore they're unable to give you fuel. So make sure you have enough fuel at each stop, get fuel when you can, and make sure if you do stop somewhere and you need fuel, you have a backup plan, because you could be 60 or 70 miles before your next fuel stop. And the next one, which hopefully you would be doing anyway, but the thing I've learned is take your time and enjoy it. Don't be in a rush. Leave yourself plenty of time so you can enjoy the run itself, and take a moment to stop, enjoy the sights, the sounds, the smells, take pictures, make a video. These things last longer than your memory ever will, so take a moment and enjoy it. Hopefully you found this video slightly informative and it helps give you a baseline or a starting point for a budget should you want to do a run such as Applecross. As always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you all soon.